but the crowd there is actually pretty good. Miami is a party town. I mean, they have there's a whole show called Miami Vice, and it's all about the glitz and glamour and the crime. Well, for that, because it's a cop show. But Miami had Miami is a city of style, so that stands out. The crowd stands out in that way. Yeah, a lot of people just like this track. I mean, they don't. I mean, I'll tell you, half of the people who hate on this track is because it's another American race, and they don't think we should have more races. Like, seriously. Right now we are about ready to go green. Hamilton is a car, but he doesn't have any wheels on. That's interesting. See how it goes for him. He'll probably be going out later than everyone else. For those of you who are in chat, I just want to warn you, if you're typing out sentences, put a space after those periods, please. Otherwise, the bot thinks that you're putting out a URL and it times you out. So for sprint qualifying, basically SQ1 is 12 minutes, SQ2 is 10 minutes, and SQ3 is 8 minutes. It's different. And I believe they are required to use mediums. For SQ1, SQ2, and then softs for SQ3. So Charles, is it a green? Yep, it's a green light. So they are now out on track. Yeah, I mean, like, too good. I mean, like, there's a potential for another America can support a fourth race easily. Size, GDP, population, support. Project List says this Miami thing about the track should be dubbed the hardest track in the United States. Yeah, I think if you count in Brazil, you count in Canada and Mexico, among the six tracks are in North and South America that F1 is racing at. This is maybe the hardest one. It's tight in areas. It is a street course, but it's tight. Again, where I think Charles was around turn 15. It was like 2-3 car lengths wide at the most. You could put two cars side by side uncomfortably. And people are coming out on track right now. It's still too early, to call out any times. People are asking who will be the SQ sprint quality hero. Will it be Hamilton again? It's very possible. Clerk is out on track, so this is his first. Ooh, a little bit of wiggle in the car. We're at 9 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this sprint quali. showing a replay of him not exactly having full control of the car. So this is going to be interesting. So right now we've got Stroll at P1 with 128.960. Alonso is P2 with 129.069. Zhou is second. Sainz is fourth. Bottas is fourth. And Leclerc is sixth. And these are the only set times so far. So don't play into them very much. Like Norris just went third. And these are people putting in essentially banker times. If you do a decent time here, you'll get into the next session. Like Leclerc did a 150 because he had to slow down during his. That's not going to stand. First saying, how do you get this layout? It's insane. Oh, well, it's because they're racing around the stadium and they're using the service roads essentially around the stadium to build this track. The track wasn't built to suit. This is not built for. They're using the roads as they are around the stadium, as opposed to building a track for racing. Mark, you're talking about the autocomplete type, like 2 or 3 letters. I would say no, Todd. I would keep Baku and Monaco in terms of like Baku, but not Vegas. Vegas actually is they've got room on that track, and there's more straights on that track than this track. And we're now down to about 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. Right now, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Albon, and Sargent are in the drop zone. Sargent and Albon have not set a time as of yet. Sargent just set a time, but it's for 15th. Again, on the board, he's been dropped down to 17th. I'm going to jump ahead. There's 4 minutes left to go in this session. Sainz and Leclerc are out on track. Sainz just went from the elimination zone to 4th. He did a 128. Leclerc right now is 11th. He's only a 10th behind Verstappen out of 2 sectors. So we have Max on top. We've got 128.601. Oscar is second with 20. No, that's not right. 128.639. Charles is third with 128.654, and Perez is fourth with 128.681. Driver at risk right now is Ocon, and it's Ricardo, Bottas, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Albon on the bottom. Ricardo and Hulkenberg are on outlaps right now. The Ferraris are also on outlaps. In the garage right now is just Perez, Stroll, and Alonso. As I say that, Stroll has just come out on track. And again, when you see on out, basically they're on there. They have just left the pits in their outlap. See, Perez right now is listed as being in the pits, and he's the only car that's in the pits right now. You've got 2 minutes 15 seconds left to go. I was about a minute behind, ironically, on my stream. I've jumped up, so I'm actually ahead. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm ahead of the timer now. 2 minutes to go in this session. Who gets disqualified? I mean, not disqualified. They get eliminated, Mark, and that would be P16 through P20, but the bottom 5. Right now, that Ocon is the driver at risk, and again, Ricardo, Bottas, Sargent, Hulkenberg, and Albon in that order are in the drop zone. And Bottas has just gone off track. That is not good. He may not be able to get around. It's going to be interesting if he can get around to get another lap. That's going to be a good question. Ricardo starting a flying lap now. You do have to get around to the line to start that lap in order for it to count. So Bottas has just jumped to 14th. So an incident involving Bottas and Oscar will be investigated after the session. Rich is asking, what does S1, S2, S3 means? Those are the sectors. So the yellow sector is sector 1, the red sector is sector 2, and the aqua turquoise color is sector 3. So there's just parts of the track. And underneath of the driver's times, you'll see dots. Those are subsectors, so smaller parts. Sainz should jump up to 4th with 128.435. And right now, Hulkenberg has jumped up to 14th. That puts Alonso at risk at 15. Gasly is 16th. Zhou is 17th, though they are in the pits. Bottas is 18th. Sargent is 19th, and Albon is 20th. So again, Hulkenberg just finished 14th. Zhou is out. Bottas probably out because he didn't get another lap. We've got Sargent, Albon, and Alonso right now. Alonso's at risk. Sargent and Albon are at the bottom. Albon only goes 16th. Sargent goes 20th. And Alonso, he's improving on all his times. He's going to come across. He's going to go second, 128.192. And I believe that is how it is going to go down. Albon, Gasly, Zhou, Bottas, Sargent. So both Williams, both kicks. Gasly out in Q1. So we've got about a few minutes now. The cars are going to have to get. They're going to go around and get off track, and then we will then reset for SQ2. So interesting to note. We've got. I was looking at the bottom of the board. At the top of the board, we've got Norris and Oscar, Alonso, Verstappen, Magnussen, Russell 6, Sainz and Clerk 7 and 8th, and Perez will eventually fall to 9th, having been in pits. Oh, Albon cut a corner massively. Yeah, Albon times just got deleted, so that doesn't. It's not going to affect much because he was 16th, but he cut a corner pretty blatantly, and he dropped. Now his time was deleted, so Sargent officially outperforms his teammate in quali. You guys are getting a little rambunctious in chat. A couple of you have crossed the line. Okay, what else you guys are saying? When we resume, it'll probably be in a few minutes. Maybe about 5 people. Say hello to Martina, one of our other green chatters. Again, this is the Racing 60 YouTube channel. This is Crash. I'm here with you live. We've just finished SQ1. Gasly, Zhou, Bottas, Sargent, Albon in that order were eliminated in SQ1. So this is the P16 through P20. Albon was 16th, but his time was deleted because he cut a corner. Norris and Oscar take P1, P2, but again, it's only SQ1. These are not our pole positions. Yeah, I didn't notice when Landon went top. That's on me. I was looking at the bottom of the board, seeing who was being eliminated. Because again, it's SQ1, so hooray, you got into SQ2. So we are about a few minutes from SQ2 right now. We are actually showing the lap times. I mean, right now they're not on track, so there's no data. But when they get onto track and they're going around, we will show actual times. Meaning sector doesn't work at this time. That's interesting. I don't know what to tell you in that regards. We don't actually control getting the data and displaying that. Yeah, that's something that Racing Statistics will look at. They're required. I believe if I'm not correct, I believe that they're required to use mediums in SQ1, mediums in SQ2, and then they're required to use softs in SQ3. It's not like the normal sprint, the qualification where they have options to go sooner. So what you're looking at, someone's asking about the green line under Albon. So what that means is that in those mini sectors, Albon was improving in that subsector. So colors. There's three primary colors that you're going. Three primary colors. There's actually a fourth you'll end up seeing. Basically, red and yellow colors essentially basically mean that the driver has not improved on their previous time. Red is a more significant color, and it shows up sometimes randomly when it shouldn't. A green color means, and cars are now coming out. Both of the Haas's came out. A green color means that the driver has improved on their personal time in that sector or subsector. Both the Ferraris are lining up right now. And then when you see a purple color, it means the fastest of all the drivers. So fastest subsector, fastest sector, fastest lap. You will see during the race, you'll see that the number of the driver, their position, like right now, Norris is in eighth. He went faster than the previous session. So you can see that his number is like that. So that's how you know fastest lap during the race. Obviously here, that will be number one always because this is quali. And they are now out on track already. Is Again, if those of you don't know, SQ is short for sprint qualification. And so the number after it means the different session. So there's SQ1, the first session, which we just already did. We're now in SQ2, sprint qual, the second session. And then there'll be SQ3. So we'll eliminate 5 more out of the drivers after SQ2, and we'll have the last 10 drivers to shoot out for a pole. And we're now in SQ2. Again, this is the Racing SQ channel. This is Grash giving you live coverage. And we're now 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in SQ2. So unlike the normal quali, time is much less. We had 12 minutes in SQ1. We have 10 minutes in SQ2. We will have 8 in SQ3. Again, tire choice. There's not a tire choice here. They're all required to use medium in this round. They'll required to use softs in SQ3. Richard, it's based on lap times. It's basically we're doing who's going the fastest around the track, and it's based on a single lap time. And right now, people are doing their outlaps right now. The only two who are not out right is for Max and Tsunoda. Perez just went to the top of the board with a 127. Hulkenberg and Magnussen 128s. We've got more people get to set times, like Stroll just set a P2, 128.323. So give it a little bit of time to let the board settle down. Ricardo just went P2, 128.112. Lonzo P3. That's a good time. For right now, that's a good time. Still a little early to say that the Haas's are cooking. they're at the bottom of what people have done for times. So we still have to see from Oscar. He just went up. Where did he go? So we still have. So Hamilton just went P7. So we still got times to be set by Norris, Oscar, Russell, Sainz, Verstappen, and Tsunoda. So Sainz just goes to P5. We got 5 minutes to go now. Sainz just did a P5 on 128.317. Oscar has moved up to P5. Leclerc has moved up to P3 now. Norris has moved up to P1, 127.597. And that's 2.68 faster than Perez's time. We still do not have a time from Verstappen or Tsunoda. And Max is about to head onto the track. He's going to get onto track with about 4 minutes to go, so he will have he will easily have enough time to get around and do a lap. And I want to stress a lap. What did I just say? Carter says he said he hit the wall at turn 16, but it seems okay. I mean, he's P5. Is it P4? P4 right now. So he's probably okay. He probably bounced off the wall and gained something on it. Yeah, the McLarens kind of don't show up very well on the map. You kind of know, like, I mean, like, I can see where Oscar is right now, but there are places on the map where the text is not going to show up very well. I understand that. There is Hamilton coming into the pits. Are they replacing his tires so he can go out? Yeah, they just replaced his tires. So the only ones, so Norris is the only one in the pits. I suspect he will stay in the pits, being at the top of the board. But everyone else is either out on track already or doing an outlap to do a final flying lap. F1 TV is suspecting a projected knockout time of 128.2 seconds with a margin of 0.2 tenths. That would we've got 2 minutes to go in this session. So that would put us around where Alonso is right now at P6. Oscar would probably be at risk as well. Ricardo would be at risk as well. Denny Rick is pushing that. Yeah, I mean, but he needs to. Don't get me wrong, he needs to push that car. So we've got Max right now. He has not set a time. He's on a flying lap. It's not that they're allowed to do 2 flying laps back to back. Is that you can't do 2 flying laps back to back. It's not physically possible. And that's basically when you're doing the flying lap, you're putting temperature and stress on those tires. And to do it again for a lap back to back would mean you'd be pushing those tires more than they should be. So Tsunoda set a time. Max is going to set a P4 with a 128.001. It's going to jump ahead of Ricardo. Ocon is going to move up to P13. And he's probably going to be out. Hamilton. So Hamilton must have done is a pit lane infringement on Hamilton. He must have crossed pit lane. Usually, pit lane. He moved out from the pit lane too soon. So Ocon is done. He's P13. He's out. Next is coming to the line is Alonso. Leclerc is done. Ricardo is done. P3, P5 for those respectively. Alonso right now is P7. Hamilton says he's hit the wall. Sainz moves up to P8. Hamilton is going to be eliminated, P12. Russell is at P11 right now. Hulkenberg is the driver at risk. Russell comes, and he does not improve. Well, Russell will be eliminated. And I think that is it. I think that's it. We've got Tsunoda, P15. Magnussen, P14, Ocon, P13, Hamilton says he hit the wall, P12, and Russell, P11. So we are going to see a Haas and a V-Carb in SQ3. Mercedes does not get out of SQ2. That's interesting. That both Mercedes did not make it out of SQ2. And Hamilton says, "I got nothing, man." And the engineer is telling him that he's been bumped. Not only just bumped, but also beaten by his teammate, who has also been bumped from SQ3. He touched the wall. I don't know if he hit the wall. He came really close to it. Yeah, I don't know. But again, this is the Racing YouTube channel. This is Crash, bringing you live coverage of the sprint qualification. We've got the 5 eliminated from SQ will be Russell, Hamilton, Ocon, Magnussen, Tsunoda. SQ3 will include Norris, Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen, Ricardo, Oscar, Alonso, Sainz, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. Again, the Haas and of Hulkenberg and the V-Carb of Ricardo have made it into SQ3. That is, seeing Mercedes drop and seeing 2 of the other teams jump into that mix. Norris again at the top of the board. What happened to Tsunoda? He just didn't have a good lap. Just not a poor time. Just not a good lap. The emoji of flaming dumpster. Which car are we talking about, Danaki? Hulk's last year with Haas, so you cooking like our no. Hulk is signed. That's the thing is Hulk is signed already to the Kick Sauber, new soon to be ultimately the Audi team. What did the SQ result mean for the rest of the GB? Well, again, the bottom so in SQ1, the five the the 5 drivers that are eliminated set P16 through P20. This SQ2, the 5 drivers who are eliminated set P11 through P15. And then finally in SQ3, the order will set the rest of the grid. So and the pole, and SQ1 being the pole. So we're about a few minutes from SQ3 starting. Now we will see them cooking on soft tires. Scott asks, what do you think about the Ferrari's livery? I hate it. I made fun of it all through pre-practice 1. It didn't help that, Charles, managed to lose control of the car as well. So there's that. I'm not really sure that I am on board with the V-carb. I mean, for a one-off livery, I'm probably okay. I'm not sure. Like, there are people who are like, this should be their livery for the rest of the year. And I'm like, maybe not. I'm not really sure on that one. I can see the V-carb livery, if that ended up being their livery for the rest of the year, it would grow on me. But that's pretty much. I mean, that's Finley, the color back to F1. That's the one thing about these liveries, that they are bringing more color back to F1 when we've gone black, green, and the carbon fiber not unpainted for so long. Blue says, I saw someone commenting that Mercedes does not care about the sprint race. How dumb and blind are you? Finley Finn says they need a minimum paint rule. I don't think they need a minimum paint rule. These cars will eventually. It's a as things swing back in one way, they'll swing back in the other way, because these cars are marketing machines. They have to look cool, and if they all are black and colorless, the easy way to separate yourself from all of them is to put color on the car. Yaman is asking help move the audience. Who gets kicked out? Bottas or Zhou? Actually, it's going to be both. I don't think they're going to keep both. They could very easily sign Carlos Sainz, and that would leave both Hulk and Bottas out without a ride for next year, or to have to sign with a new team. We have started SQ3. We have 8 minutes. So here's what's going on. There's only 8 minutes. So they play this game of chicken of you're just going to go out once. Amesh asking if Bottas goes back to Mercedes. No, Mercedes won't take Bottas back. They will, they'll try for Sainz. They will probably bring someone else in, but I mean, ultimately that seat will be handled by Anthony Chiminelli is the name of the driver. And he's the hot new thing in F2 that skipped F3 type stuff. Take your rest. Kimi Antonelli is his name. No, actually, the sprint is not tonight. The sprint is going to be tomorrow morning. Got someone on a jet, a Sea-Doo looked like Bottas on a jet spray. We got 5 minutes to go in this session. No one has gone out yet. They will go out in the next minute. It is definitely a game of chicken that they're playing. How did Perez get second? That was the SQ2 qualifications. No one has gone on track. So don't worry about the times on the board, position on the board at the moment. Well, thank the 500 likes we've got, and then we've got about 4,574 watching right now. Thank all of you who are here. Again, this is the Racing News channel, and we're watching a game of chicken that's going on right now as we hit 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in this session. And they're turning into a one-lap shootout. That's what they're doing. And the only reason that you do this is because you think there's some sort of advantage, that there's some sort of track evolution. So we just had Perez head out. Oscar's Perez went out, and now everyone's out. Like again, it's one goes out, the rest go out. Looks like Max got ahead of everyone. And so the game of chicken is over. So we've got Perez, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg on the way out. We know Stroll is on his way out. Alonso's on their way out. So this is going to make quali pretty easy because Perez is going to get around once, and then he's going to have time for his lap. So they're going to set a time, and that is the only lap time, unless they abandon. No, not even if they abandon early at this point. So Perez and Verstappen, we'll set theirs first. William McGrath says it's likely that Merck's messed their setup for testing. They've been doing a lot of experimental testing stuff. We're about to hit 2 minutes left in this session. Again, you're watching the Racing YouTube channel, and this is Grash with basically it's now effectively a one-lap shootout with everyone. They will not have enough time to go around again to do another lap. And Perez is starting his flying lap. Max is starting his flying lap. Ricciardo will be next with his flying lap. And I believe Stroll, then Alonso is the order. I think Oscar's the next one, and then it will be the two Ferraris. Max is the fastest first and second sector so far. So Perez is setting P1. That's to be expected. It's the first one on the board. Hulkenberg has a 128 on the board. Interesting. I think that may be not correct. Ooh. No, Hulkenberg has 128. He was actually the first one out. Did not catch that. So Perez just said is 127. I'm going to follow the order that I have. And time is 10 seconds left. So time has left. So Perez, Hulkenberg are what are done. Max coming to the end of his lap. He's been purple across the board. He is a full purple lap with a 127.641. We're following along with Norris right now. Clerk is going to jump to P2. Ricardo jumps to P. Well, so Ricardo went to P3. He's been pushed down to P4 now. Alonso goes P5. Norris is going to go P6. Leclerc is going to go P2. He's going to have a fastest second sector, though. Sainz is going to go P5. We've got Oscar left to go. He's improved on his 2 sectors. He comes across P6. And that is going to end quali for us. Verstappen going to be on pole for the sprint race. Leclerc on that row. That's on that row with him. Perez P3 and Ricardo P4. That is a great result for Ricardo for one. A lot of people saying that Ricardo needed to find form and find it fast. He has found it very fast. He's on second row with Perez. Third row is going to have Sainz and Oscar. Fourth row is going to be a Aston Martin with Stroll and Alonso, and the fifth row is going to be Norris and Hulkenberg. And that is what it all is going to be for this sprint quali. We've got our grid set for tomorrow. There is Hamilton has a pit lane infringement that will be addressed by the stewards. There's probably a couple other things, so keep an eye on the FIA documents. Don't be surprised if people have moved. There's been some movement with the grid based on some penalties. Not many penalties. Hamilton's the big one. Pit lane infringement. I know Bottas and Oscar. There was an incident there. So those are the only 2 that I can think of that happened this weekend so far. I want to thank everyone who's come. There was over 5,000 of you watching. We've got 562 likes. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone who's subscribed, who's liked during this session. Thank you for joining the Army. For the rest of the 22,000 of you, almost 23,000, we will see you tomorrow for the sprint race and the Grand Prix quali. And then on Sunday, we'll be back with the race itself. For me, this is Grash. I'm going to be done for this weekend. It's going to be, unfortunately, I have an event tomorrow that is work-related. That it's graduation for students. Let's be honest. So that the sprint race is right up against when I need to leave to go to that graduation ceremony. So Ryan will be here tomorrow for the sprint race as well as quali, and then he's as usual will be here for the race. He's back after me taking over for all of China 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm not the one graduating, by the way. I'm the professor. I'm there in support of my students. Again, our SQ3 results. Max is the pole sitter. Clerk is 2. Perez is 3. Ricardo is on that second row behind Leclerc. We've got essentially three Red Bulls in the top 4. Sainz is 5th, and Oscar is 6th. Oscar beating his teammate Norris is in 9th. All right, from everyone for here at Race Statistics, we will see you tomorrow. Have a good day and be safe, everyone.